So here we are recording this now. Okay. So basically, your iPad that you've got has a microphone built into it, and you can use that for recording all kinds of stuff, including vocals and including samples and all sorts of things. We're going to go through a couple of apps today. Let me just wipe that screen off. And we're going to start with iMachine 2. iMachine 2 is a $6 app. Now, this week I have been looking for free sampler apps or free sampling apps for the iPad or the iPhone, and I was not successful in finding anything. I found some apps that used to be free, but they are no longer free. They're now they range from $6 or so up to, sorry, just moving the keyboards out of the way. They range from $6 or so up to about $30 or more. So all kinds of price ranges and different ones that are more or less useful. The ones I'm going to show you are the ones that I've come across that I think work really, really well, and I would recommend checking them out if you can afford it or whatever, or if you want to spend the money. These are ones that are good ones. We're going to start with iMachine 2, and the reason why we're starting with iMachine 2 is because it's like $5 or $6. It's very cheap, and it's also compatible with with Machine 2. So if you have the Machine 2 software, you can actually make a beat on your phone or your iPad and take it and put it directly into Machine and expand on it in there. So I know a couple of you have Machine or have used Machine or have access to Machine. So that's why we're starting with this one. It's also pretty easy to use. It's not nearly as full featured as some of the other apps, but that's actually a good thing. Just because less features means less complication. And so this one is one that's relatively easy to use. So we're going to start with this one here, and then we'll talk about some of the others as well. So basically, in this app, you have 4 drum kits that you can use, and you can have these be keyboards or pads or whatever you want it to be. So you can see in here, I've got this one here, and got that one there. And one of the things that's you're going to notice also today is my playing is going to be pretty sloppy, and that's because my iPad is running into my computer, and then it's going into my QuickTime program, which is showing it on my screen, and then that is going through loopback, and then it's going into OBS, and then it's getting streamed out, and I'm actually hearing it after loopback. So there's quite a lot of it's like going through 2 pieces of software before it gets to my ears. So yeah, there's a lag. I don't know if you can hear me tapping and hear the hi-hat itself. That's a lot of lag. So it's hard to play. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to lay down, you've got these different drum beats in here, drum kits. Why are the dishes on the screen? Just because I thought you might like to see what I used to cook with every day. Those dishes are there because that's what we're going to be sampling today. So we're going to be sampling that stuff right there because I want to show you that you can make some cool sounds, or at least some interesting sounds, with things that you have just laying around your house. And these, I literally just went into the kitchen and grabbed some stuff. I don't know what this is. I just thought it would make an interesting sound. So that's why this is here. And then I've got some other stuff. But we're going to go through all this stuff today. But yeah, latency is insane today, Jelani. All right, Martin. Hold on one second. Just still getting people logged in here. All right, so basically in here you've got your different kits that you can have, and you can grab different kits from different places, and you can see here if I go in here. So if I want to load in a kit, like let's say I want to load in some kit into here, I can go over here and go to my expansions, and let's say we want to make it a sample or a drum pad or something like that. We got this over here. And I can have different stuff going on, and you can change this somehow. I don't remember exactly how we change it, but you can change these up. Oh wait, you probably hold down on it. Yeah, you hold down on it. So if you hold down your finger on it, then you can change it to pads or whatever. I've got here just a bass. I got a bass sound there, so we can have a bass sound or whatever. So we'll start here with a little drum beat. I'm going to put it on C because I'm going to use A over here to kind of to do my samples and stuff like that. So we're gonna show how to do that in A. But we're going to start with a little drum beat. I'm going to just add a kick and a snare in here, and I'll have this over here. So what this screen is showing me here. First of all, on the right hand side, I got all my pads. These are just kits that Native Instruments has put together for you. And if you hit on the left-hand side, if you hit this little magnifying glass, this is what allows you to dig through your libraries and stuff like that. So I can go in here, I can grab a kit. I've got all my different expansion packs in here. And as you can see, I've got quite a lot of expansion packs. I feel like I should have more than this, but maybe not. And these are ones, and you can download these for like $1 each. Every now and then they run some like sales and stuff like that on them, so you can get like I downloaded like 50 expansion packs a while back for like, I don't know, for like $100, and that was like a few years ago. And then it kind of came with all the expansion packs for the iPad as well, and for the machine and stuff. And so these are just like, you know, drum kits in here, and I've already got one loaded in. So I'm just going to go over here, and this one here is showing me what they call live play here, and if I hit my hi-hat, I can adjust my velocity here. I can like that, or I can use different velocities over here. I can adjust the velocities on the left. Alright, so I can do like that. Now, if I want to record something, what I'll do is I'll hit play. I can turn my metronome on. Right? The metronome is a little bit loud for my taste, but I didn't see a way to adjust the level of the metronome very easily, so I'm just going to leave it alone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit record. You can do a count in. Why that? Okay. I'm not sure why that didn't just play a second ago. That was weird. All right. Yay. Troubles with this stuff. And I'm not sure, like I said, I feel like it's like doing too many things. So hold on a second. Let's clear this one out. So I go down here to my edit mode, and it lets me put stuff in. I can just put this in step mode. So what I'll do is I'll just use my kick drum here. And what we've got is grid mode here. So I can just, like that. So I can do that, and then I'll go over here and choose my note that I've got. Right, and I'll go back into step mode here. Like that, and if I hit play. And I can just put it in like that. And I'll go back and forth. Oh, I know why, I see. Right, it's probably easier to put it in step mode than to try to play it in. Cool. There we go. Got that. Okay. So we've got ourselves a little drum beat, and the way I did that, as you saw, is I just chose my sound that I want to play. Oh god. Sorry. So I chose my sound that I wanted to play, and I just put it over here into step mode over here, and I just played it in. And I definitely do not want to play. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it alone with that little drum beat that I've got there. So now I've got this drum beat here. So now let's go over here and start sampling some things, all right? So what I'm going to do is we're gonna move this over. Come on, cable, move. There we go. All right. So I got this here, and let's go ahead and just listen to some of these sounds. So I'm gonna put them next to my, so you can hear that one there. I don't know, can you still hear it over here? That's me moving it. Just move these out of the way here a little bit. Put these over here in the background. All right, so the microphone, we've got different levels of sensitivity here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead up here to this record button here, and if I hit record here, you can see that, and there's a threshold here, and the threshold sets when it's going to start recording. I'm going to go over here to this one, and let's put it in this pad here. There's nothing in this pad right now. And you can hear, when I do this, the threshold level goes up and down. Right, let me just put Brad Hill in here. And that can start it recording. So what I can do is this. Well, hold on, that's going to keep the threshold. Let's here, if I play it. Yeah, that's not what we want. Let's do it again. Okay, there we go. Let's listen to that. Okay, cool. So that sounds pretty cool. Now what I can do is I can go and I can edit this sample. Hit the edit button there. Go over here, click that. Let's listen to this. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Hit apply. And now we got this little sample here. So if I can play that with this beat. And record it in. And go back and edit it. There we go. Cool. There you go. Okay. It's getting frozen on you there. I don't know, Johan, if it hasn't been anything, nothing really bad on my end happening over here. My kilobits per second is still running pretty good. So I don't know. You reset your modem twice. Interesting. I'm not sure. I hope it's not something on my end. I don't have any dropped frames on my end, so I'm gonna keep going here. So I've got that sound there. Here's another little sound. This one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to record that one into this one here and go back to my record button over here and just, okay, so we got that there. And now take this. Okay, cool. So I'm going to take this one and cut it up like this. All right. So got this part here. And you can sit here and edit. Cool, there's that one there. And let's go ahead and let's record over this one here as well. And I want to grab the other side of that, so I'll just, there we go. Edit this. Cool. Okay, and you can go in here and you can edit these sounds a little bit more or whatnot. I'm not 100% sure on how to be. I said, here's our edit stuff. So, yeah, there's like a little bit of editing you can do. It's not like a whole crazy amount of editing. Like I said, some of these programs are deeper than this one here. So we got that, and let's go ahead and record some of these things. So, so turn that down a little bit. Yeah, cool. So I'm going to go in here and hit the record button, and we'll. So record that. Okay, so we have a little recording there, and let's actually, here, let's play this. Set that. Here, actually, you know what, I'm going to do that more in rhythm. Recording. There we go. Cool. So I can do that while I'm recording there. Okay, cool. So go ahead and sample that. Cut that up. Just hit apply. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now we're in one-shot mode here, so if I turn that one-shot button off there, so I got that. Yeah, it's very much like a bell. Pots and pans are basically just metal, which is what bells are. So I hear what you're saying there. So I'm going to go in here to step mode, and let's go ahead and actually let's go back to the sound and let's edit it down here. Let's go to here. I'm going to record that in. There we go. And so you got those sounds there, and now we can, like, I don't know what this sound is going to sound like. I mean, it sounds really cool, like just by itself, but I don't know if it's going to record very well. So one thing you'll notice is that there's a lot of noise in this recording, and that's one of the biggest problems with the iPad microphone, is that it's just, you're picking up a lot of noise on this thing. It's not got a great dynamic range with the noise floor, so you're going to pick up a lot of like extraneous sounds here with this. Let's see. Double time that. Let's see. Oh, hey, Maria. Okay. Yeah. I was not ready, but I got you now. Cool. Awesome. Thanks for looking out there, Maria, because definitely I would have missed you. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is, let's go ahead and put these over here on this side here, and I'm going to move this a little bit closer. What I'm going to do is, let's see if we can record. Let's see, I'm going to go over here to this one, and we don't need that. What we're going to do here is hold down this, hit recorder, and turn the gateway down. Let's go ahead and see if we can record. Okay, so we just recorded some stuff in here, but I'm not exactly sure how this recorder works. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably more for like vocals, recording kind of vocal things, not for recording just like samples and stuff like that. But let's see what we can do. If we can edit that at all. Like I said, we're reaching the limits because I don't actually use this program for stuff. Let's hear what that sounds like. Ha, that's funny. Yeah, sounds kind of cool. And then you can put like bass lines in. You can record that in. Yeah, and obviously you can hear it's not like, you know, I could have to go back here and edit this pattern here because it's like, and again, I'm not even sure how to do editing on this thing because I just never, this is not something I ever do. Like, well, I don't ever do it with this much lag. I would just play it over again, but right now it's gonna be super crazy to play it over. Like, I don't want to spend a lot of time doing that stuff. Yeah, so Jelani is saying, when I record with my iPad using regular headphone mic, get you a decent sound without the room. I was messing around on that machine app the other day doing similar thing. Yeah, absolutely. So you can definitely use other microphones that are going to sound better. But just the one that comes with it, it's just going to be a super high gain mic, and it's like recording like super loud. So if you turn stuff down, you can get it okay, but you're still going to hear the noise. It's fine for a demo. It's not going to be bad for a demo, but it's going to be hard to use it for like a real recording for stuff. Not impossible, but you're just going to have to be creative about it. And then if you dump these samples into your computer, or if you have proper apps on your phone or your iPad, you can do editing to help get some of the noise out and stuff like that. So that's something there. I'm not gonna like sit here and like basically have to learn this app like completely in front of y'all. But you can see like kind of some stuff that you can do with it, and like I said, this lag here is like really messing me up playing wise. But there you go. There's like a little brief rundown of Machine and what you can do with it. Some pretty cool stuff here. We have these sounds here. Now, what we can do with these is we can go in here and save these sounds. Let's go ahead and save that, and I can save it into a folder here. Let's just put it in the samples folder. And this is okay here, and we'll give it a name. Scissors. How do you spell scissors? Is that how you spell scissors? I guess so. Boom, save that. That's scissors. And this one here is my ice cream scoop. Save this into the samples folder. For attendance. Martin, yeah, I got you for attendance. Nice. Jelani, did you get any other apps besides Machine or that one, or did you try to look at the iMPC app? That one's a bit more. I was surprised. That was like $26. It's a good app. I think I probably bought it when it was on sale at some point for like 15, like half price or something. Let me see, what was this? This is the ice cream scoop. Scoop it up. All right, there we go. I'm gonna save this one as well. We'll call this one Scoop 2. There we go. This is my pans loop. Oh, with the machine? Or, oh yeah, nice. You're gonna get the machine for yourself? Dope. Yeah, I love machine. Big fan. Pan. So just saving these in here. So there we go. So we got those sounds in there. And so that's how you can make like a basic little beat in iMachine too. And you could take that and throw it into the regular machine on your computer. So that's like a little rundown of that one there. You can do some really cool stuff with that. Sample that in. Okay, so next, let's take a look, before we get too deep into all this stuff, let's take a look at GarageBand. Now, GarageBand is... I'm not a fan of GarageBand as far as a sampler goes. But I'll show you how to use it. It's not great. So if I start a new track here and I've got my sampler here and I click on that button there, you can see here's my input levels, and it says point your iPad towards a sound you want to record, then tap start. After you start recording, you can instantly play the sound on the sampler keyboard. So I've got this here, and what we'll do is drink that water. It's delicious. And there's a different sound here. Here, we'll use this one here. Let's try hitting that with something else besides. Let's see what happens when I hit it with this. Kind of a cool sound. Here we go, we're going to hit start. Then I'm going to hit stop. And now we've got these sounds here, so I can play it back. And you can hear it's got a lot of reverb on it, so I'm just going to go over here to my mixer and turn the reverb down. We don't want that reverb. Alright, now one of the things I do not like about this is you can't really zoom in to your sample you just created, so it's like almost impossible to edit this thing. But what you can do is sorry, I'm moving cables out of the way so I can get to my computer again. What you can do is you can edit the envelope of this thing, which you could not do in Machine. And now I can play it back. And I can play it back with this kind of, like this. And so I could go in here, and again, there's going to be lag. So I can't play it back very well, but I can go in here and I can go ahead and quantize this really easily. Settings, quantize to quarter notes. There we go, boom. So done. Let's go ahead and put in let's put in some drums. We'll use the beat sequencer over here, and we'll use this modern 808. Let's use the 909. There we go. 8. Stop playing. I don't want to hear you play. And we'll go over here to my patterns and get a new pattern here. Actually, y'all don't like house music, do you? Some of you do, some of you don't. We're going to do house music anyway. And we're going to have a hi-hat here, because I know some of y'all like house music. And we're going to go down here and put this in here, like this, and hit play. Cool. Alright, so you can hear that's playing by itself. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this one up here, and I'm going to loop this one so it goes until the end, and we're going to hit record in here, and it's going to play in, wait, no, stop. I'm going to go to this one here and hit record, and it's going to play in this pattern. And you can hear it's going to use my sample that I was using before, that I just made. There we go. And so now I just recorded an 8-bar loop in here, and I got that sample up top that I did, and we can make another sample. Let's go ahead and hit plus. I'll go back to my sampler, and we'll use we'll do this one, the scritchy sound again. That's what I'm doing right there. And we're going to do it closer to my mic. There we go. So we got that sound there, and I'm going to grab one that I like. Turn off the reverb. There we go. All right, not bad. Okay. Cool, so I have that there. Go in here and hit play, record on this. Stop that. I'm going to go ahead and trim this back like that. Hit quantize in it, go to my settings, quantize, 16th note, back, done. Go from here. Okay, cool. Here, stop. Let me put that in here and check it out. Yeah, so this is from sampling for loops or something pre-recorded. And do they put it into the sampler? Are they using it in a sampler, or are they just recording loops from songs in that video? Because it's a pretty big difference on what, sampling stuff. Cool, here, we're going to save that for later. But yeah, and this is great. If you want to talk about this, I would love to go back and talk about this stuff, because one of the things that is really, really important is that y'all search out, like YouTube videos and stuff like that, and start learning a bit on your own, and then bring questions to me to talk about stuff. Obviously, I don't claim to be a GarageBand expert. That's not my main thing. I'm trying to teach y'all how to use, Pro Tools and Ableton Live and stuff like that. But if you show me some stuff, and you could say maybe like, how do we do that in Ableton Live, or how would I do something like this in Pro Tools, then we can easily talk about it. I can watch the video and we can talk about it. So that's a great one. And if you want to talk about it later on, Jelani, we can. That would be awesome. So here's this. So we got this here, and we just made this sound. Right? And obviously, this is really super, super bare bones. It's not, there's nothing crazy going on, but we're starting to get into this stuff. Chopping stuff up kind of like on Ableton. Yeah, I'm interested to see it and see what you can do with it, because I don't really, like I said, I don't really use GarageBand that much, so it'd be cool to watch that video and see more stuff. Yep, on GarageBand for anyone who just got the iPad for now. Yeah, there's also I got a link yesterday because as I was digging through some stuff and looking through some stuff, I did find a website that I was gonna send to y'all, email to you today after we talk about this stuff. That's all things GarageBand. It's right here. So this link here, I was gonna put this into Zoom for y'all as well, but here, this link here for anybody who's watching. There you go. You can use that as well. It's just all this, everything about GarageBand. It looks really fantastic. I looked through a couple things, but it's cool, and that's where I kind of learned how to mess around with the sampler here. But like I said, the sampler is all right. It's not great. You'd have to basically use a different track for every single sound that you want to do, which is okay-ish, but I wish they had some kind of way to put it into pads. But that's basically what you do there. You just hit the record button and you say, okay, if you want to have a new sample, you hit the new sample button, or you can go back to the My Samples. And there's like, you can put samples into your library here on the right-hand side. So there are ways that you can mess around with this stuff in here. But yeah, there's a pretty deep dive into this stuff. Like I said, there's so many apps out there. I want to show you another app real quick here, and this is another one that costs money, but that's basically what you can do in GarageBand there. Here, I'm going to go ahead and close that out. This one here is the iMPC app. And here we'll go ahead and make a new project over here on the right-hand side. Just make sure this one here. This one, that's it, yeah. And let me just do this real quick. Okay, so here we're looking at the, this is here, it's going to make a new project, and I can go through and see which projects I want, and so let's do it there, we'll just do the trap project here. And this trap project opens up and it has, whoa, that's very, very loud. Hold on a second, turn you down. Why are you so much louder? There we go, cool. Let's turn that down a little bit more. Hold on one second. I gotta get back to my, there, this one. There we go, much better. So this one here is like an iPad, and basically, sorry, like an iPad. It's like an MPC, and it works very similarly to an MPC. So if you're used to using MPCs, you'll feel pretty much right at home with this one here. And so what happens is I hit, let's see here, what's our tempo? And again, I've used this one a little bit more, but not enough to be like, I know everything about it. But basically this one here has, you can add in tracks and mixers. It's not just limited to your 4 different pad sets. This A, B, C, and D across the top are different, like, what they call it, like groups for your pads, A, B, C, and D groups, like the MPC has. Right, so if you're used to using an iPad, then, an MPC, then you're gonna be used to this one here. So you can see here, if I go over to song, I can set it up, okay, so it's at 140 BPM, so it's a 2-bar loop, time signature is 4/4, and this one here, let's go ahead into time correct. Let's put the time correct at 8th notes because 16th notes is not going to be anywhere near correct at 140 BPMs for me with this lag. And I'm going to hit record and play. And now it's playing my loop. And whatever I play into this is going to go into my loop. So if I just go. And now if I click over here on the left, I click note repeat. Actually, let me use 3D perform? No, not tweak. Okay, well, here, just put this in. And I can put a little bit of extra. There we go. And then over here on the B one here, there's a space. Right? So I can put that in here. But if I wanted to, I could go ahead and put that on a different track. Let me just go ahead and get this in here. So if I put on a different track, what I can do is I can go to my tracks here, hit plus, and let's put a drum kit in here. And then here I hit the, not the piano button. What do I do? This one here, perform. Oh, I hit program up top. That's, yeah, I always get a little bit weird there because I don't do this very often. So we'll go down here to our Beats Continuum pack and get the trap kit out here. Go back to my perform, and we can see we're on track 2. Click up at the top, track 2, boom. So now I'm in B. So I can hit record. Now you can hear that bass a little bit loud, so I'll just turn it down. You can turn it down like that. And make sure that nothing is clipping here. Right, put this back up. Right, and you can add stuff in like that. So that's pretty easy to make the beats on there. And then what I can do is I can go over here to my perform, and let's add another track in. Hit plus, track type. Let's do this here, drum pads. And then with this one here, let's go ahead and tweak it. And what we can do is I can click on a pad, any one of these pads. You can see I'm selecting them right here. And I can say new sound. I can hit the record button here. And now, when I hit the record arm, it's going to start record arm. It's going to record arm it here, and let's just grab, here, let's use this thing. Wait, let me put my other camera back up. Cool, so here we got this. Let's go ahead and record this. And I'm not really getting much sound out of that, so let's just go ahead and use this sound here. Okay, and we'll stop recording. And you can see I got a lot of sounds in here. And that wasn't much at all. You can hear there's a lot of stuff going on here. So we're going to grab just one of these here, and what we'll do is hit the edit button, and I can mouse over here to the right, and I can normalize this. That's going to make it a bit louder. Okay, there's that. Let's just grab a little hit over here like this though. And you can see a lot easier to edit in here. I can pinch and zoom in. And so once you've used something like this, it's a lot harder to go back to some of the other stuff there. And we got that, and we're going to hit done. And now it's... Wait, hey. Why are you not? Oh, that's the wrong one. That's what... There we go. Zoom into this. Cool, alright. So we'll save that. And then we can go over here to our amplitude. and then put in. There we go. Should be all right. Cool. We can turn the level. All right, and then you could perform that in. Whatever. All right, I think y'all are gonna get the point here. Basically, if your iPad is super, super powerful and you can do a lot of stuff with it. So I highly recommend getting in there and trying some stuff out and seeing what you like. The last app that is super dope is this one here called Beatmaker 3. And this is probably the most powerful app that I've seen on the iPad for this kind of stuff, for making beats. It's expensive though. It's like $30 or something like that. So, and it's really deep to get into. I got it. I started messing around with it, and it was just taking up it was too much of a time suck for me. And since I make most of my music in front of my computer, I just went back to Ableton Live. It's dope. If you only have your iPad and you want to make some cool beats, this thing is really cool. It does a whole bunch of stuff. And which apps are free? The GarageBand. For making music stuff, there's very few free apps. There's a few free synths and stuff out there, and we've talked about that in the past, but GarageBand is free. The iMachine is $6. I tried looking for a free sampler, and I couldn't find anything that was a free sampler. That was actually like a professional level type of sampler. There wasn't like a sampler game. Like there were some like games and stuff like that could record sounds and just kind of play them back, but nothing that would allow you to actually kind of really edit the sound and do real sampler stuff with it. So you're gonna have to pay. There was one that was called Koala that was like $4. I didn't download it because I didn't want to pay $4 for it, so I don't know how good it is. People like it, but when I looked at it, it didn't look that great. Like I think you should probably use Machine if you want to get into stuff, and you want to pay money for it, because Machine's like a deeper infrastructure, and there's a more of a world around Machine already. So yeah. But I mean, the iMPC Pro is dope if you want to make beats on your iPad, and it's $26, which is not insane. Like $26 is, I don't know. Like I'm sure you can save $26 somehow, and get something like that. And if you want to talk more about like apps and stuff, we can talk about that in Zoom and go deeper in, because I can show you all my stuff I've got. I've got a ton of stuff on here, and I can show you all the different apps on the iPad that I've got here. There's some really cool ones, but like I said, again, like I don't really use my iPad for making music so much. There was a point when I was doing more of that, but it's been years. So I buy apps when they come out, and I check them out, and I play with them and see if there's anything that I can use for to work with my Ableton Live setup. But usually if I'm making beats, it's in Ableton Live. So cool. All right, y'all. So I'm gonna stop the recording.